ladies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade and I help people reclaim back their power physically, mentally and spiritually through holistic living and spiritual guidance. Now today I'm going to be talking about shadow work and why it's so important and what it actually is. So essentially, shadow work is really acknowledging your inner demons and doing the work to heal them. So it's basically becoming aware. So it's awareness of your darkness. It's acknowledgement of your inner wounds, your childhood wounds, your traumas, your ego, your negative aspects of your ego, and any sort of triggers that you may have that makes you react in a certain negative way, or that's basically the catalyst to something that isn't serving you. That may be some sort of self-sabotage that you keep doing, or it can be something that you keep manifesting over and over again and creating in your reality because you have something within you that's like a dark frequency that keeps attracting like negative vibrations in the form of people or insecurity or even sickness, like physical sickness. Many things. It's very complicated and complex because everyone's so different. So this is where the meditation and the real solitude needs to come in. This is where you have to do your own inner work, and it's basically like putting a puzzle together because you're trying to figure out, why do I have certain, dark traits? Why do I have certain triggers that make me react in a certain negative way? So it's basically doing the inner work that needs to be done so you can really have that control and healing of your ego. So it's basically really pushing your ego to one side because love is the only cure and the only method to really healing your inner shadow. It's the only thing that will heal it truly, because your ego will always try and justify things. It will always try and basically just keep you locked in that certain low frequency and vibration because it loves addictions. It will always, push addictions onto you, and it will always want to cling on to your coping mechanisms. So a lot of unhealed shadow work, or a lot of unhealed inner shadow, basically will manifest itself as addictions a lot of the time. Because if you have any addictions like smoking, drinking, food, sex, porn, you are basically distracting yourself. It's a form of escapism. Because when you are having a fag, when you are watching porn, when you are, eating that donut, you are disconnected from yourself. You are disconnected from your thoughts, from your brain, from any emotions that you've suppressed that are painful. It's that little kind of false illusion of happiness that your ego keeps wanting you to cling on to because it feels good for that very small time. But in the long run, it will just make you more and more and more drained. It will just make you further and further away from the lights. It pushes you further and further into a dark hole. And the longer you stay there, the longer it will be to claw yourself up out of it. So this is where real maturity has to step in. This is where real spiritual maturity has to step in. This is where your acceptance needs to be done, because you have to take action. Basically, you have to want to do the work. You have to use your intent and be like, no, I have to be responsible for myself and I really need to do the work to heal, because healed people heal people. Hurt people hurt people. So this is where that spiritual truth and maturity will really motivate you. Because if you want to really help people, if you want to be a good person, even for your family, your children, your friends, or just for yourself, you have to do the work, and this is what will really motivate you. So you have to step back and you have to just really look at yourself with honesty and not allow your ego to kind of cloud anything or, justify any addictions, because it will always do that. So you have to really come face to face. You have to have that bravery to come face to face with your inner demons And I don't mean literal demons, I mean your own inner demons. And a lot of your inner demons will stem from childhood trauma, because sometimes you can't even remember something that you went through, but then it keeps playing out as an adult. And your subconscious is 95% responsible for your actions, for your daily actions. And this is where meditation is really important, because you train yourself to be more present. So you're not just stuck in the past or in the future. You become more calm, less anxious. And you'll realize then it will come to you certain things that you need to address, because you cannot heal what isn't revealed. Let me say that again, you cannot heal what isn't revealed. And this is why toxic positivity is really damaging in the new age, especially, you know, that teaching, because people will just continue to suppress old toxic emotions that need to come to the surface. And when you keep meditating, you will basically be raising your vibration. And what this does is it will bring up old suppressed traumas that will come to the surface. And this is where it can be difficult. This is where you have to really be on the high vibration and be calm and about it. But guaranteed, you will have loads of breakdowns. You will cry. There'll be some, you know, but you need to understand that breakdowns are breakthroughs. And it's literally like peeling the layers of an onion. And each breakdown basically is a representation of one of your skins, your egos, a layer of your ego that isn't, you know, that doesn't serve you, being thrown away in the bin. So this is where acceptance is really important, and accepting that suffering, sometimes we have to suffer to grow. Sometimes we have to suffer to heal, because, you know, it took you years of toxic brainwashing and bad habits to get to the point that you are, you know, now. So it will take time. It's a process. It is a long process. So don't let anyone fool you into being like, oh yeah, you can become your true, you know, a master of enlightenment in like, you know, a few days or a month. That's BS. It takes years depending on what you've been through. But it's all part of your divine plan. It's all part of what your soul has to go through. It's clearing out karma. It's such a divine process, but it's messy, it's raw. It will bring you to your knees. It will destroy you at times, but that's all part of being a warrior. That's all part of just your training. You came here to learn how to be strong, and you came here to learn love. And essentially, love always is the key, as cliche as that sounds, but it truly is. Having love means having empathy and compassion for yourself and for others, because with shadow work, a lot of the time, it will involve a lot of forgiveness. And forgiveness is one of the most important things to raise your frequency, because if you don't forgive people that have hurt you, you'll forever be stuck on the low vibration, and then you'll keep manifesting people who keep hurting you the same way that that person hurt you, because it's a continuous lesson. And as brutal as that may seem, it's basically for your own good, to empower you, because it gives you power. Because once you forgive someone, you are free. Once you forgive someone, you are free. Forgiveness doesn't mean justifying what that person done to you, okay? Forgiveness is setting you free, because if you have any bitter resentment for people, hold grudges, that is like a poison. And that poison will fester your heart, it will fester your soul, and that will accumulate loads of karma. And it actually keeps you bonded to that person continuously. And it will just cause havoc in your life. So letting go is so vital on the spiritual path. Letting go and forgiveness is key in shadow work. So everyone is different. Some people's triggers from their trauma and their responses and their reactions to certain things will come in the form of hurting other people. But then sometimes other people it will accumulate in the way that they become toxic people pleasers. So because they have been hurt and put down by maybe parents or whoever, or being bullied in school, that will make them have really low self-worth, a lot of insecurity. a lot of, no confidence in themselves. So they'll just hide away and become very, very, passive, overly passive. So everyone has their own inner demons that they need to really address. So it's not just, when I say ego, I don't mean, narcissism. I don't mean someone who's like, egotistical in a form of like being loud and obnoxious. It can be anything. It can even be insecurity. That is a toxic ego trait that has come from some sort of pain, some sort of hurt that you went through. So be gentle with yourself. Accept that, okay, I went through this, but it taught me this. Every challenge is a blessing in disguise. You came here to be strong. And enlightenment, something Buddha used to always say, and I really do believe this, is enlightenment comes from years of suffering. Because when you have your heart broken, it opens, okay? Sometimes you have to break your heart. You have to have your heart broken for it to open, because that is now teaching you true unconditional love and compassion. And again, it doesn't mean you accept whatever that person done to you, but you let go of it. You learn from it. And that is truly having the utmost empowerment, because if you are bitter, like I just said, and you don't let go and forgive, then you are putting all your power in the hands of someone else. So you may feel like, oh, I'm being a bad bitch or whatever and being bitter towards someone. No, you're not. You're being weak. It takes a lot of strength to forgive, the most strength, and that will really set you free. That is the most powerful thing you can do. So shadow work is a process. It will take time. It will take years at times, but the universe only gives you what you're ready for. So if you're continuously on the spiritual journey and you're continuously raising your frequency, you will then get new challenges and new things that come to you when you reach a certain level. It's kind of like a game. And the universe will never give you what you can't handle, okay? So it always presents you with new truths, new realizations, new things that come back to you that you may have suppressed from your past or whatever. And it will keep manifesting these things over and over again for you to learn from, for you to see the lessons. And this is why raising your frequency and meditation is really key, because the more present you are, the higher your intuition is, the easier it will be to spot the lessons and to get that epiphany moment. And you'll see and have that wisdom. You'll have really good discernments, and discernment and wisdom takes years to come. And for myself, it only really happens for me when I really worked on decalcifying my third eye, on really working on my own diet and just doing everything I could to raise my frequency by letting go of low vibrational things such as porn and alcohol and smoking, junk food. So if you go on my website, or I will link it in the description below, I do have a free ebook on how to decalcify your third eye. And this is really what helped me to do my inner shadow work healing, because it made me have so much clarity, and it really put me in tune and in a higher connection to my higher self. It helped me connect to my spirit guides as well, because spirit guides can help you through this journey. But please don't get fooled by anyone, by them making you think that it's a pleasant journey, because it's not. I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm not a bullshitter. It's rough, it's brutal. You will have so many breakdowns, but like I said, you're peeling away your layers. You're peeling away the layers that aren't you until you get to that core in the middle of the onion or whatever. And that's you, that's your true, beautiful, authentic self. It's in the core, and all those layers around it is just trauma and bullshit little things that you've picked up and you've put on yourself. Your ego has have all these cloaks, these different cloaks that's hiding your true authenticity, your true self, your higher self. So it's a process, but everyone's different. And go to therapy as well. If you can find a therapist that helps you, journaling is a really good tool as well, because if you can't find a therapist or anyone to help you by expressing yourself, by talking, if you don't have anyone to talk to you, basically journaling is really good. So you can just get it all out on a book, in a journal, because you have to let it out. You have to let it out, all, you know, the things that you've been through, and be mature about it, and it will grow and grow, and you'll be able to let go of things easier and easier and easier. Things that bothered you like so badly will feel like nothing. Like the biggest key that you can have that shows how much you've grown is basically looking back on certain situations, and you know, that really bothered you, that made your whole like life seem like it was going to break down, but now you look back and laugh at yourself and be like, oh my god, what a pathetic little drama queen or whatever. You'll laugh at yourself and be like, oh god, silly little fool. But in a compassionate way, obviously, I'm just joking. But you'll see how far you've come, and you just continuously grow and grow and grow. So it's a really empowering journey. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's so needed, and it will set you free, because if you don't do the shadow work, you'll continuously be on the wrong path, because your ego will be driving the car. It will be at the front center of your existence. It will be basically manifesting your life, and you do not want your ego to be manifesting your life. You want your heart to be, okay? Because ego represents fear and your heart represents love. And when you live in a vibration of love, things magically transform in your life. Trust me, it's not BS, because my life has changed dramatically, and you'll be shocked at how much you can transform. You'll be shocked at how much your ego manipulated you to be someone that you're not. And that's really like an empowering acknowledgement that you go through during shadow work. So journaling, get hypnotherapy to get rid of addictions as well. That's a very powerful thing you can do. If you can't afford hypnotherapy with a specialist person, then listening to affirmations when you go to bed at night, so before you fall asleep, listen on headphones to any sort of positive affirmations that will help you get rid of any addiction you're battling with. Will massively help you, but you've got to do it every night for at least 30 days. And clean up your diet. Diet is so important, so important. That was one of the biggest things that really changed me and made me go into a space of love and empathy and compassion. Basically, I went vegan for the animals, so for ethical reasons, about 6-7 years ago. And that was the first thing that actually opened my heart, because for the first time at that point in my life, I was thinking about other people and not focusing on all my bullshit dramas and problems. It made me step into the shoes of someone else and just show love when it didn't bring me anything back. Because that's true love, is when you basically are giving love without anything, without any expectations in return. I will do a video on that, addressing like spiritual diets, etc. But the key is to be gentle with yourself, have lots of compassion for yourself, be patient, have acceptance, and you will just continuously grow and grow and grow and grow. So I hope this video helps you. If you have any questions, then comment in below, and like, subscribe and share my content. Follow me on Instagram for more daily content that I'll post on there. Check out my website, thegoddesscoven.net, and I should be having more ebooks, etc. and services coming on there very soon, including art services. And I will see you soon. So lots and lots of love and light. Hands up.